We are now going to do a single leg deadlift, but you're going to be putting one of your legs onto the bench. This is one of my favorite exercises to train the hamstrings and the glutes as well. And the reason for this is because whenever we do a single leg deadlift, by lifting one leg up in the air, many people struggle with this and they don't perform this exercise correctly because they tend to twist their hips because their glutes are not strong enough to do it correctly. So by doing it this way is really going to strengthen your muscles so that whenever you do a single leg deadlift without the bench, you're going to be doing it perfectly. The most important thing whenever you're doing this exercise on the bench is to make sure the height of the bench fits perfectly where your hips are aligned. Because if the bench is too high, this hip is going to raise. And you see, the hips are not straight. And you don't want it to be too low where your hip is dropping. So it needs to be at the right exact angle. What you're going to do is you're going to place one hand onto your hip. You see the leg that is on the floor? That's the one where you're going to hold the dumbbell. And just like when you do every deadlift that you do, you're going to lean forward and know your limitation. Know how far you can go forward without rolling the shoulders, because everyone's body is different. So film yourself, check yourself out. See, are you only able to come here? And as soon as you do, you have to roll forward. Make sure that you're always locked in the correct position, and that as well, when you're leaning forward, that your shoulders are aligned. So there's no twisting. Everything is aligned as you come up and down. Always remember, as we're doing a deadlift, we're always locking the knee and the hip as we come up at the same time. No excessive arching and leaning forward like this with the belly. So holding the dumbbell, locking in the shoulder, always making sure the neck that is aligned with the spine. You're going to bend your knee and you're going to push the hips back by hinging, leaning forward, keeping the dumbbell close to you, knowing how far you can go down, feeling that stretch by keeping the shoulder locked in, no excessive arching, and slowly coming up. And in order to really target the hamstrings really good, always keep in mind to claw your toes and your heel onto the ground really tight. You're going to feel that your muscles are so much more engaged. And if you feel like it's tiring your lower back, then do the movement slightly faster, because the slower you do it, you're going to be working out the lower part of your back even more. All right, I'm going to do 10 repetitions with you, and then we switch legs. Have a short break in between switching legs because your lower back might be tired, okay? Grab the dumbbell, one hand on your hip, lean forward, hinge to the back. Know where you're supposed to reach with locking it in. Slowly come up, claw the heel and the toes, okay? And come up. Pull from the hamstring. Focus on the hamstring. Try not to pull from the back, and try to focus on pushing against the ground and pulling from the glutes and the hamstring, okay? You're gonna get a feel of it. That's why I like to take my time, because then I have more control over the muscles and what I'm using. And 3, good. 4, excellent, there you go. It's a killer. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. So whenever we do this exercise, you already know we're also training the back. So that's why it's important to give it a slight break, because you're not only working the leg, you're also working out the back. So focus on your breathing. Prepare yourself in your nose, out of your mouth. You can always place a mat underneath, a towel, whatever you need to be able to align your hips properly. All right. If you're ready, let's start. Grab the dumbbell. Make sure your heel is always flat on the ground. One hand on your hip, keep that chest up, shoulders locked in, hinge, look down as you're coming down. Keep those shoulders locked in, slowly come up. As you're driving upwards, make sure to push your heels and your toes on the ground. 2, claw it. Good. And pull from the hamstring. 3, 4, good. 5, excellent. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, great job.